Good morning. Welcome to a winter morning forum, even though we thought it was going to be spring, right? Not too sure I like this. I'm ready for spring. General format, I see a few faces I haven't seen before, so please understand you're very welcome to come to forum every Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock. If you don't get our emails, please talk to one of us, pick up a card that shows you how to get online, and then you just get this automatic email every Saturday morning that tells you what's happening. You can choose to sleep in or come check us out. There are 4 of us who organize forum. Oh, you ladies, you usually always sit over here. Okay, Barbara Bynum in the back, Phoebe Benziger, and Kathy Heavers, and I'm Judy Ann Files. We'll do the presentation and then have questions at the end. We definitely require that a mic be used, partly because of the video presentation that Will Woody with the City of Montrose does for us. And by the way, if you ever want to watch a forum presentation, go to thecityofmontrose.org forum, and it lists all of our programs, and you can watch those. There have been some really amazing ones, so you might sometime want nothing else to do, go watch a forum presentation. This morning, obviously, City of Montrose Parks Division. I would like you to welcome from me Dan Payne, who is the Park Superintendent for the City of Montrose. He's been with the city for 7 years. He is the Park Superintendent. Before that, he was a coal miner. I think that's a little bit of a diversity there, so we congratulate you on that. Dan also, he and I were just talking, he teaches the CDL classes for the City of Montrose. And when you think about how many city employees we have that have to drive city trucks, city vehicles, all of that, and they all have to have that CDL special driver's license. So I'm glad you have time to do parks as well as that, Dan. I'm going to briefly introduce Brandon Owens. He has been working with Dan all these years, and they're going to work together, but I will let Dan introduce Brandon more. So, good morning, Dan.
Good morning, thank you. Yeah, like Judy Ann said, I'm Dan Payne, the Park Superintendent. I brought my Parks team leader, Brandon Owens, with me today.
Dan.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I brought my Parks team leader, Brandon Owens, with me today, and the Public Works Special Events Manager, John Sullivan. So today we're going to talk a little bit about a day in the life as a parks worker. Most people probably think that parks workers mow grass. In reality, if you don't include Sunset Mesa or Cemetery, we contract out about 70% of our park mowing. So what does Parks do? So Parks takes care of all this. We have 38 parks, over 160 acres of turf, tons of landscapes, irrigation systems. We have the cemetery, Sunset Mesa. The list just goes on and on. We have tons of playgrounds, 13 playgrounds, 11 restrooms, over 200 park benches, hundreds of picnic tables, pavilions, you name it, we take care of it. So how we break out our parks, we assign several parks to each of our park employees. We'll have some employees that take care of the north park, some employees that take the west parks, and so on and so on. So each one has a special park that they take care of, and we kind of leave it up to our workers to decide what needs to be done. Some of them are very competitive, and they like to try to have the best parks in town. So this is basically a breakout of the Parks Division. So not only do they have their assigned parks, they specialize in a certain task. We have one person that'll specialize in irrigation. Whenever a hard irrigation project comes up, that's the guy we call. We have people that specialize in just weeds, landscapes. We also have someone that takes care of our work orders. Whenever we see graffiti, whenever we get a call from a citizen, there's a problem, we send that person out to take care of it. It's a very small crew, and then this year it's also a very young, new crew. We only have 2 people that have seen all 4 seasons, so it's a very young crew this year. So every morning, they start out at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we do what we call morning rounds. They'll drive out to all their assigned parks, and they're checking for graffiti. During the summer months, they're checking their irrigation systems, making sure that they ran when they're supposed to. They also pick up all the trash in the mornings, try to get the parks looking clean before everyone gets out there. They're emptying trash cans, filling dog bag dispensers, and then they also have daily maintenance they have to do on all the playgrounds. As you can see, we've purchased a lot of trash cans over the years. As we keep increasing that number, we have to increase the amount of time we allow all of our crew to perform these jobs. And how we decide if we need more trash cans is we watch how many cases of dog bags and trash bags get purchased every year. The more dog bags we use, the more trash bags we use, we know the parks are being used more. So right now we're currently sitting a little over 100 cases of trash bags we buy a year. So a big thing that everybody works on, even though we have one specialized, is our irrigation system. We have over 95 different systems out there. Over 71 different backflow assemblies that need tested. And we replace about 15 cases of sprinklers a year. A lot of our systems are over 25 years old. The sprinkler heads just no longer work. You can no longer get the kind of sprinkler heads that were in the ground that lasted that long. And so everyone helps out with irrigation. But whenever they have a big break that they can't figure out, we try to get someone in there that has seen it a few times and can get it done quicker. Last year, we spent over 3,000 hours on irrigation repairs. Another big thing we work on is park amenities. Like I said, we have 13 different playground systems. Hundreds of benches and picnic tables. We have basketball courts. They work on the path lighting. They do the downtown lighting. Whenever they're, we install new signs all the time. Constantly working on all sorts of different types of amenities through the park. Then during the winter months, we do snow removal. We remove snow downtown. We chose this area to do downtown just because of how close all the businesses are. And by grouping our whole team at it, we can get the snow off the sidewalks and then push to the end so you can still have a place to park. Where if we just left it to the business owners, it would be all pushed to the road. And then you have a foot of snow you're trying to walk through to get to the business. So we do downtown first, and then everyone has a trail that they go to. When they're out on their trails, they have to hand shovel all the handicap ramps. And any narrow sidewalks, we have a lot of narrow sidewalks along parks that have to be hand shoveled. We salt and de-ice bridges, and in front of the dog park, going to restrooms. It takes us about 2 days to hit all of our trails right now. We're hoping to improve that this year. We just got a brand new piece of equipment that's going to help us with snow removal. So hopefully we can get that down to about a day and a half. Another big thing Parks does is decorations. We change out all the banners 4 times a year downtown. And then our Christmas decorations. We hang up over 25 miles of Christmas lights every year. And then, of course, they all have to come back down. By the time we get done putting them up, they come back down. Another big thing that we do is we help out with all the events. We help out setting up the course for the Montrose Mutter that the Rotary Club puts on. We help out with the amphitheater. A lot of people that come and use that, they have special requests, special fencing, and we just try to make their event as best as we possibly can. On top of that, we see over 150 park reservations every year. So we try to get ahead of those and make sure that the sprinkler systems are off, clean the gazebos, and just make sure that the park is looking its best for all these events. Then the last thing we do is we work on a lot of projects. Every Wednesday is our project day. It could be anything from new trail construction, putting in a new park. For instance, we're about to gain another park, Waterfall Canyon on the west end of town. So we'll be doing some work out there once it's ours. And we'll, whenever one of our teammates finds a big problem in their parks, it takes a little bit more than just one person. We'll put that on the list and everyone gains up and tries to get that project done. So here's a kind of a recap of how we spend our funds. The big takeaway on this is the peak. That's capital and projects that we do every year for parks. As you can see in 2019, it's a lot because that was the Connect Trail that we put through, going from Colorado Outdoors all the way to the rec center. In 2021, we put in the Montrose Rotary Amphitheater. So every year we make sure we spend a little bit to try to make big improvements in our park system. So some projects we're working on this year, this just got completed, is the Rotary Amphitheater fencing. It's 970 feet of fencing. And with this fence, it's going to enable us to bring on bigger names to the amphitheater. It also makes it safer during the events. Another project that's underway is we're building a parking lot out at the Marine Road Wildlife Area. That's a beautiful park that not many people know about, but it was hard to access. The only place you could park was on the side of the busy road. Now we have a parking lot going in there, and we're finishing that up in the next couple of weeks. Another project we're working on is we're fixing up the old rink, making the doors work again. We're getting new hockey nets in here. There's a club that wants to start youth hockey back up in Montrose. So yeah, we're trying to get the rink to be as safe as we can. And then we're also doing repairs on the skate park. It's starting to get some crumbled edges and everything in the concrete, so we're going to try to fix that up this summer. And another big project we'll be doing in the house is we're going to xeriscape the pavilion medians. Of course, we're going to wait until after the roundabout's done so we can reach down. As soon as that project's done, we'll tackle this. We'll rip out all the turf, put in a drip system for the trees, and probably put a nice rock through there. Another project we'll be putting in is the pathway lights. We'll put solar lights along the West Main Trail headed to Cerise Park. West Main has become a popular place to park during big events, and so we'd like to get that pathway lit. So we'll see if we get there. And the big project for this year is our Baldridge Regional Park Master Plan. We had a big kickoff this week, meeting with different stakeholders. Beginning of May, we're looking at doing a big community engagement, so look out for the flyers and a lot of that scheduled up coming pretty quick. But with this master plan, it's going to be help us plan for the next 20 years. It's going to give us guidance to how the park's going to be laid out, and So we're just not doing random things here and there. Baldridge Park consists of River Bottom Park, Cerise Park, Holly Park, Butte McNeil Field, Cerise, and the Sunset Mesa Sports Complex. So it's a huge area that we're doing a big plan for. So let's explore our parks. I hear a lot that, we have a lot of parks, so where are they? Where are these trails? So we'll go through some maps and talk about some amenities as we go through. They're kind of hard to see, but this is just the north side of town. We take care of the north side. Not much there you can do. There's a nice parking spot and there's a big shade tree if you like to do lunch there. Coming into town a little bit further, we have Tabawatch, and I'd like Brandon to speak a little bit about that.
So, excuse me. Tabawatch used to be just a gravel pit that I honestly don't know if the city had it or the county 20 years ago. When I started it recently started being developed as a city park. We've got a nice little turf area there, some picnic tables. The pond's a decent local fishery. There's bass, bluegills, as well as trout in it. We used to have issues because the trail kind of dead-ended on private property, so we extended it to reduce the amount of people trespassing through Scott's Fly Rods parking lot. They were having issues with people with dog leash and stuff. And a ton of people go down there and do water sports, paddle boards and stuff in the summer. We had to increase the number of trash cans that we have down there because over the course of the weekend it would be overflowing. And that's basically the gist of Tabawatch.
Down here in the lower left, you'll see Marine Road Wildlife Area. That's right along Marine Road. You follow it. Now there's a parking lot there, so you should be able to see it. It's a great place to go see birds. We're currently working with the Audubon on building a blind out there. It has a few ponds in it, and it's right up next to the river. It's a very beautiful place. La Raza Park has the basketball court, really nice basketball court. It's a coated concrete, lots of lighting, playgrounds. It's got a pavilion that can be reserved. Picnic tables, benches, horseshoe pits, and we also have some soccer goals that go out there. Along the bypass, we have a couple little green belts. Sunshine Peaks has a nice trail that goes through it. McGinnis Park has a trail and a very large landscape through there. Up north, you have Homestead Park. Homestead Park is a huge open green space. Has one of our newer playgrounds out there. Ample parking along the side of the roads. It's in the middle of the subdivision, but if you need big open space for something, that's a good place to go. Colorado West is a little bit smaller. It has a nice playground in it, picnic table now, and park bench. As we go through the middle trail, we have Lions Park, which has the Lions Clubhouse at it that could be reserved. Along the arroyo, it's Pasadena Arroyo. It's a nice walking trail. It's lit. And then Buckley Park, we just installed a all-inclusive playground there. It's not just ADA accessible, but it includes inclusive play. And of course, downtown we have Demerett Park that we take care of. Great place for vendors and other things. Our east park, we have Cedar View Park at the Cedar View subdivision. It wraps around, has a large soccer field in the back. We don't have nets there, but a great big open area to play. And it also has a playground and restrooms. We take care of Cedar Creek Cemetery. We see about 35 funerals a year there at Cedar Creek. It's really quiet place to walk. But I ask, please don't bring your dogs. Kind of disrespectful a little bit. But it's a very quiet place to walk, nice place to hang out. A little further down Miami Road, you have Columbine Point. Has a nice walking trail through there that we plow during the winter time. Has park benches and dog way stations and whatnot. Going through, you can go through Columbine East. There's a trail that goes all the way down, clear down to Sunnyside. This park has picnic tables and park benches. Yeah, very nice trail. More in the middle of the town, on South First, we have Duane's Park. Has a nice little trail going through there and some landscapes. Next to the hospital, we have what we call Fifth and Junction. It has a park bench, some walking trail through there. You can follow that trail all the way to Archmont Park, which has picnic tables. And from there, the trail splits. One way goes through what we call 9 through 12 park, has picnic tables, park benches, a nice trail. If you go the other way, it'll lead you to Rotary Park. Rotary Park has a large pond, a fountain that the Rotary Club has helped put in. It has a gazebo, restrooms, picnic tables, park benches, and lots of trail going through there as well. If you follow that trail around, you'll hook into Altrusa Park. If you ever walk through Altrusa Park, you can look, and a lot of those trees are labeled with what they are. So if you're ever kind of curious what kind of trees we grow around, walk through Altrusa Park. Most of them are labeled. It has a playground and a restroom. As you can see, we have lots of trail. This is all the trail we take care of in the wintertime. You can get all over the city of Montrose using these trails. On the south, we have some small parks. American Park, right off 6700 Road. In the Fox subdivision, we have a huge park. It's our only shaded playground. We have big tarps that we put up over the playground, real nice in the summertime. Great place for birthday parties. We see lots of them go on there. And has a trail that leads all the way up to Niagara. A little further south, right off of Ogden Road, there's a small park of Rainbow Meadows. It has a basketball court there and a small swing set. We take care of all the Uncompahgre River Greenway. There's lots of bike trails and other walking trails through there. Bridges going across the river in a few places. We have lots and lots of trails, wildlife. Very south, we have Chipeta Lake. We take care, manage that. There's also a boat ramp there. So if you want to get into the river, that's a good place to start. And really far south in Woodgate subdivision, we have Woodgate Park. It's a landscape native park with no irrigation. Everything that's growing there is gets all the water it needs from the winter snow and spring rains. And finally, our west parks. This is basically Baldridge Park right here. You have Sunset Mesa with the 4 baseball fields, soccer fields. Cerise Park has 10-acre field, big soccer field, tracks. There's about 13 miles of single track trail that goes through. We're working on, we've signed a lot of it last year, so you can kind of see where they're at, and we'll be continuing working on developing those trails and blocking social trails through there. Also, you'll find that Cerise Park is our dog park. It's really popular. And that park's nice because of the volunteer group we have. We have a really good, strong volunteer group that comes in every week and helps keep that park looking clean. So if you see those guys working out there, make sure you thank them. Here's Cerro Summit. You go up Highway 50 all the way up to the top of the hill next to Cerro Reservoir. Right across the highway we have Cerro Summit recreation area. It's a great place for tubing in the wintertime. And then also in the summertime, there's tons of trails, single bike tracks, all sorts of different downhill flows. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Brandon, if you have anything for this one?
I could hit on the swap with Chiquita for the other side of the highway.
Yeah.
So about 7.5 years ago, Chiquita Lake used to be a state wildlife area that was under managed by Colorado Parks and Wildlife. And through intergovernmental agreements between CPW and the city, they wound up giving us Chiquita Lakes, and I believe they have a lease, right, Jim, on the property out there for the Cerro Reservoir. And they manage that as a state wildlife area, which now allows public access. And they manage the fisheries in both of them.
Buckhorn Lakes. This is located 9,700 feet above sea level. It's about 25 miles from town. You drive down almost to Kelowna. You can turn off on Buckhorn Road and go up a real rough, bumpy road for a long ways. Here at Buckhorn Lakes. It's got 2 lakes up there. Was once known as the top 10 fishing spots. If you're a fly fisherman, it's a lot of fun. The coolest thing about Buckhorn is the citizens helped purchase the 520 acres. They bought it at $1.25 an acre. So it was 2 purchases, but yeah, the citizens funded the money to purchase this park, and thought the city of Montrose would be a great candidate to take care of it. It was bought from the U.S. government, 1917 and 1922. It's a lot of fun. It's a great place to go in the summer. Don't try to go up there in the wintertime. We try to get up there once or twice a year, just from from how far away it is. It takes a lot for us to get up there, but we do try to get up there and pick up trash and replace picnic tables that people have damaged and whatnot. It's also one of the only parks in the Montrose Park system that you can camp at. There's lots of areas to camp, and it's all for free. Some programs I wanted to bring up today that we offer is our right-of-way tree program is a big one. We have applications up here if you're interested, but the city will help reimburse 50% of a tree trim, 75% of a tree removal, and 75% of the tree replacement. So if you have one of those trees that's between the sidewalk and the road, come talk to us. We'll help you out. Get that tree taken care of. Another thing that's really big, and a way I like to start replacing some of our older benches, is our memorial bench program. Right now, it's about $2,000 to purchase a bench, and you get a plaque to put on it, and we'll meet with you and find a place to put the bench. We also do the same thing for trees. That's just the cost of the tree. We'll plant it. We can do a celebration, but yeah, it's just a great way to help put more trees out there in our parks. So I'm going to turn it over to John here. He's going to talk a little bit about events and volunteering.
Thanks, Dan. Morning, everybody. Yeah, so I think we'll start with kind of the event process for applications to use everything from one of our park gazebos all the way up to the amphitheater. In addition, we can touch on community events that the city sponsors or the city puts on, and then also our volunteer program. So to start, if you're applying for an event, all the applications will go through the clerk's office. The reason we do that is, well, there's a myriad of reasons, I guess, but ultimately it comes down to the certification of liability in addition to anyone that's applying for an alcohol permit. So we have certain city and state regulations, so it just makes sense for that application to go through the clerk's office. Once it goes through the clerk's office, it then comes to just about every department in the city. And from there, I'm able to communicate with those various departments to figure out if there's any odds and ends that maybe it's the police department, obviously our parks department, or any other group that might see, or a reason to voice an opinion as to whether or not that event is possible on that date, or if they have any concerns beyond that. Let's see, for our community events, so the city either sponsors or just puts on. So one example would be the Funk Fest that you see, 4th of July parade, the concert at the amphitheater, etc. Those application processes are different. That application, although still goes to the clerk's office, it also comes directly to myself and our pavilion manager, or her job title is the community events manager. And from there, her and I can orchestrate more closely together regarding, you know, a city event that goes on at the amphitheater, in addition to helping putting on the city-sponsored parades, such as the 4th of July parade. Yeah, I think one other component that's worth mentioning is that oftentimes we can do a fee waiver. So, for example, there is a fee schedule change for the amphitheater for a level 3 rental, which is kind of the top tier rental. It means you get the backstage, the 2 wings, the east and west wing, in addition to the vendors area outside. It went from $1,000 to $1,200, but there are fee waivers available for nonprofit organizations. There was a few components behind the fee schedule increase. One of the big ones was just more infrastructure on the inside of the amphitheater, such as an ice merchandiser. So we provide ice now for events over there. Yeah. I think that about covers events more or less. Volunteering, so for 2024, the volunteer program for the city has changed quite a bit, I would say. One of the big reasons we've done this is because we want to, you know, capture more metrics for our volunteer hours and the organizations that have come in to work with us throughout the year. So, you know, it used to be that, you know, you come on in, you'd sign a waiver, we'd say, thanks for your help, hop on outside and, you know, work on some trail. And now we ask people to fill out a simple inquiry form, volunteer inquiry form. It can be found on the city website under our volunteer page. It's really just asking for, you know, phone number, email address, date of birth. And then from there, we populate a spreadsheet and we keep track of each volunteer individual's hours. One of the biggest reasons we do that is because we do have to report those hours at the end of the year. So by capturing it in the inquiry form, it makes life a lot easier for us internally. In addition, it also helps us, you know, understand, you know, what groups or individuals are putting in significant time into volunteering with the city. And hopefully someday we can look to reward that work in terms of, you know, celebrating it somehow. And I guess that's a project I'm working on right now. So, I think that about covers volunteering and events.
So as you can see, there's no shortage of work for us at the Parks Division. But if you guys see anything out there in your parks, graffiti, damage, sprinklers out of adjustment, use this app, the Better Montrose app. Lets us know right away. We try to get out and catch everything we can. We do miss things. So I ask you to help us out, download this app, and so we can make these parks a better place. You guys have any questions?
Dan, first year, I want to tell you, I thought that was amazing. And a caveat, this is his first time ever to do a public presentation. Okay, who has a question?
You've probably heard this before, but are there any plans to put restrooms at the amphitheater? It's a long walk to try to find a bathroom over there, and there's no signs telling you where to go either, I don't think. Maybe you put some in, but...
We definitely discussed the option, but it comes down to maintenance. It's a lot easier for these large events and to bring in porta potties, and we can always bring in more porta potties. Where if we put a bathroom in, we're kind of stuck and limited to what those bathrooms can provide. So as of right now, we're just looking at keeping the porta potties at the amphitheater.
I was wondering about the Valley Lawns Cemetery south of town. I know that's not your responsibility, but is anybody taking care of that? Do you have any information?
I don't have any information on that cemetery. I know it went through ownership change a few years back, but from what I understand, they're trying to bring that cemetery back. I can't remember who purchased it, but I know they are working on that.
If you don't use the app on the phone and you do have a concern about a particular park, who can you call?
You can call my office directly, 240-1411.
And that, the name of that is the Park Service or
Parks Department.
Parks Department? Okay, thanks.
Yep.
You can always just call the city and then just ask to be connected
Yep.
to parks, okay? Then you don't have to remember the number.
Dan, who does maintenance on the road to Buckhorn Lake? Besides, when that will be done?
It's shared. County does it quite a ways up, all the way up to the cattle guards, I do believe. The second cattle guard, the county takes care of. And then we maintain the rest of it. We don't get a grader up there too often, but about every 2-3 years we try to get a grader up there to smoothen it out.
A few years ago, the Colorado National Guard came in with their big, I don't know what to call it, road group, whatever, and they did a whole bunch of work up there. But we live in the mountains, right? And don't we also have to share some of that with Ray County?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's multi-jurisdictional, so it always causes problems.
Ewart County's supposed to take care of that. Montrose County takes care of Daywood Road.
You want to speak?
Yeah, I don't know, this goes back a few years, but I know that Ewart County is supposed to take care of the road up to Buckhorn, and Montrose County was to take care of Daywood Road.
Please go in and out here. Who else?
Hi, Heidi. I just wanted to say thank you, Dan, to you and your team for the fantastic work that you do. I have experience, I've been an end user on the park side in a lot of different ways recently. I'll just tell 2 quick stories. Number one, as the parent of a young child, I've never enjoyed our local parks more than with him. And Buckley Park in particular has been phenomenal. So thank you for making that happen. That was a lot of work. His favorite is the big green slide, so loves that place. And then I also really appreciate the app. You guys have been so responsive on the stuff that I've submitted, like within 1 working day it's addressed. So just a huge thank you to you and your team.
Years ago, we had a city parks committee, and one of the things that came out of that was the young mothers who asked for covered. So that's why Fox Park has the sunshades over it, because it was pointed out to us that when it gets hot, there's not any place to go.
Yeah, so I agree with what she just said about Buckley Park, although my granddaughter calls it Broccoli Park. Could we please go to Broccoli Park? So just because I live in that area and I walk that park, is there a sprinkler system that's being done? I know you've taken down some trees, you've got new trees planted. What's the long-term plan for Buckley and Lyons? Is anything happening with Lyons on the radar that you know of?
So we just replaced the sprinkler system at both Buckley and Lyons. It used to be 2 separate systems. We combined them into one. And it's still under warranty, where we're trying to work out the kinks on it, but I think this year is going to be the year where it's going to work exactly like it's supposed to. And yeah, we're working on with the contractor to get the trenches settled and reseeded and making it look like we were never there.
Yes, sir, just a second.
I'm wondering about the stocking, fish stocking at the various parks. Tabawatch, Chipeta, and Buckhorn.
Yeah, so CPW handles all the stocking. They do stock Chipeta Lake. I had Tabawatch and Buckhorn Lakes. Yep, they handle all that. They don't let us know when they do it. I know last year they put huge trout in Chipeta, and as soon as people heard about that, they were gone in a few weeks.
You mentioned a new park going in at Waterfall Canyon. So if there's a subdivision and they have a park and they want you to take it over, what's the process?
We typically don't take over any more parks. It's all agreements done in the planning phase is really where it happens when they're developing the area. It's a give and take. That's how we've done with so many parks. But yeah, at this time we're definitely not looking at gaining any more parks.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Waterfall Canyon is west of Chipeta Drive, south of Spring Creek Boulevard.
Yes.
So do you ever require developers, I think you require them to put in parks or open space, but then you also say, and you take care of it? Is that how it goes?
Like I said, it's more in the planning stage. I'm not too sure how it ends up going to who. It's always better if the HOA takes care of it. They take a little more pride in their own park, and it's mostly for that subdivision. But yeah, the City of Montrose does require in development a certain percentage to be open space. It's just to help with cleaner air and make Montrose the place it is.
A point that was made yesterday at a meeting, which gotta remember too, the Black Canyon Golf Course is a park. It's the only park in the city of Montrose that makes money. And yet, so much of it is free. You know, that was the intent of having that, so children can play free at Black Canyon Golf Course. No more questions?
The trail that runs out on River Bottom that goes by the yurt, Colorado yurt right there, and then there's a bathroom. I understand there's going to be some picnic tables and some other things put in that area. Is that just a rumor, or is that?
No, that's happening right now. It's the Flex Park. It's partnership with Montrose Rec District, but they'll be the ones taking care of that. But they have a whole design, turf's going in, there's going to be picnic tables, and all sorts of stuff in that little area.
The only other comment is that the benches along that trail, at least we walked, they're always in the sun. No shade. So just a thought process, if there was one that could be covered at some point, the one that you're now talking about with the Flex Park would have some coverage. That's why I was asking about it.
Yeah, we're not planning on putting covers, but we can definitely plant some trees.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I can remember years ago when somebody cut down all their willow trees and went out there by the river in that section and just stuck them in the ground. Evidently they didn't work.
Are you going to finish the trail between where the trail ends at Colorado Outdoors to where the Tavish Park is? There's a whole section in there that's not done.
Yeah, that's a big dream of ours to eventually get that trail out there. Right now, there's still a lot of land that would have to be acquired to complete that trail.
That's private.
Yes.
I thought up there, I thought I saw another hand.
Oh, okay, I see your hand.
The Flex Park, the one that's going in by the yurts and the bathroom there, that land was donated by Colorado Outdoors, and I think that's just a really good example of that public-private partnership between the city and that developer. It's gonna be really cool, and the preschool that's right there is gonna be able to use it in addition to the rec center for some programming, and then in addition to all of us who just wanna see more parks along that trail.
Dan, is there a requirement, or is there a parking at each of these places, like at the waterfall that's inside a subdivision? If you go in there, will there be parking, public parking?
There'll be on-street parking on most of the subdivision types.
You can
But yeah, you can park. Most of the parks all the way around, you can park. Just don't block the mailboxes.
How many of you even knew about the one out on Marine Drive for birding? That's been a best kept secret, I think. Our Audubon group, like 10 years ago, started working with the city to do that. And if you know of anybody who's in that Audubon bird watching group, please tell them you appreciate your efforts and maybe step it a little forward. Is that it?
Yes.
No more questions. All right. Thank you very much, Danny.